I also wrote a book on suicide. I'm very sorry it took this long. I'm even more mad that it took 3 years after I considered it finished for my publisher to get it in print. Because every year Native people are killing themselves and they don't know why. They've been told by mental health professionals that it's because they have all these little gremlins in their head that are responsible. I very thoroughly go into all of the different possibilities, and I asked, Bonnie was very interested in it, that the suicide rate for German Jews during the Holocaust was 3 times the national rate for non-Germans. And during the last 2 years of the Holocaust, those are the years of the intensive removal to concentration camps, the suicide rate was 50 times that of non-Jewish Germans. Was the serotonin level in the Jews, did that kick in 1933 genetically and then somehow kick out in April of 1945? Was the fact that the German chemists hadn't come up with Paxil or Zoloft or something, if they had had some real psychoactive drugs to give to the Jewish people, would everything have been okay? Because, you know, it was that serotonin thing, it was those brain chemicals that were kicking in. That's why the Jews were committing suicide during the Holocaust. It had nothing to do with what their country was doing to them. So the suicide rate in Canada for Native people is comparable to that rate in Nazi Germany for the Jews from the period of 1933 to 1943. What's not analyzed is the systemic and systematic oppression that is foundational to Canada. It's a political and material requirement. I go into it in great detail in these books. I'm writing another book. When I was writing this one, Shaughnessy said, "Are we writing a suicide book or a book on racism?" I said, "Well, they're together." And she said, "But they have to be separated because we've got to get the suicide book out because Indians are killing themselves." So if you read it, there's a little bit rough there because we had to pull apart the part on racism. But we are putting it into a racism book. And Canada denies that it's racist. It looks to the South and says, "Hey, we're not Donald Trump, so we must be wonderful." There's a Canadian form of racism. It's based on the political economics of how Canada operates. And that's not part of a mental health interpretation of what's happening to Indigenous people. It's the denial of it. So, I've said plenty. I could talk indefinitely.